Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, Home with Kimberly. I'm so excited to have you guys here today because I am going to take you through my hydroponic garden system that I have. Now, I have already used this and successfully grown some herbs and lettuce and even some cherry tomatoes in it. Really love it. So now I'm ready to plant in it again. This is actually an off-brand. It's called Lasha Hope. And I think the reason that I chose this particular one is because it raises up higher, and I'm going to bring this in the camera and show you in a second. I think it raises up higher than the other, like the Aerogarden is a really popular brand, and I just wanted something that raised up a little higher, but either one is good. I think they're very similar in the way they operate and they work. So I am going to show you a little bit into this. I'm not going to go into like super detail with how everything works. It comes of course with an instruction manual. It's really easy to set up and get going. So this is my little hydroponic garden, and as you can see, when it comes packaged, you have to like attach this piece and plug in your little power thing here, and then it has a little screw thing on the back, and then you can lift this up. So this goes all the way up here, and then of course back down. You want to keep it on the lowest height when you're first starting your plants. This little tray comes out, and as you can see, it has 12 holes for 12 different seed pods to put in there. And then the inside of this just has your little filter. This is my power cord. Of course, I'm not going to leave that in there. This will come out. The power cord attaches over here in the back, so you've got a cord on this side, a cord on this side, and a cord on this side, and then the little filters down in here. And so all you do is fill it up. I like to use filtered water. I don't think it's a requirement to use filtered water. You just fill it up to whatever your max fill line is, and like I said, your instructions will tell you if you get one like this or the Aerogarden. It'll tell you what's the max that you should fill it to. I had originally bought the Aerogarden for my mom for her birthday, and she loved it, and successfully, I think, grew tomatoes her first time, and so then I wanted to have one. But again, I ended up getting this off-brand because it raised up higher. But I use Aerogarden, like the little pods and the seeds, for instance. That's actually what these are. These are Aerogarden seed pods, and they're longer than what came with my original seed pods. So my original seed pods, I don't know if you can see, are pretty short, whereas these for the Aerogarden are longer. And I also have the little capsules, so you can just see they're longer. But basically they're the same thing. They have a little bit of different mixture as far as what's in this little dirt peat, seed starter mixture. I think with mine, it tells me in my instructions if I'm using their little seed starter, they want me to soak it. They wanted me to soak it for like 6 hours ahead of time and then put your seeds in, which I think I did I don't know if I did that every time. I think with the Aerogarden, you honestly don't even need to soak these. I did just put these in a little water just to rehydrate them a little bit before I put my seeds in. So all I'm going to do is fill this up with water, and I am going to put the little dirt into the little container here. And let's talk about, well, what can you grow in your little hydroponic garden? Pretty much anything, or at least you can start anything. Obviously some plants, if they get really big, you're probably going to have to transplant out, or if they're climbers or like to spread out, you could start it in here, but eventually, yes, you would need to move something like that. But these are the seeds that I recently bought that I wanted to go ahead and maybe get started in here. Now I only have 9. I think I only have 9 of these little dirt pods here, and of course this takes up to 12, so I need to order some more. But to get started, first I'm going to start with my herbs. So I am going to put some parsley. I have some fresh thyme, some basil, cilantro, rosemary. So I'm getting my herbs going. And then I also wanted to do this rainbow carrot mix. Now these next ones that I'm going to show you to include the rainbow carrot mix, I'm actually going to end up transplanting. So I'm also going to, on my patio, get a raised garden bed going. So there are other plants that I'm going to be putting in there, but I thought until that arrives and I get that going, some of these that I'm going to plant out there, I want to go ahead and kind of maybe get started and get some plant starts going. So that's what I'm going to do with these rainbow carrots. I've got spring onion. I've got some spinach I'm going to start. And then lastly, I'm going to start some of this broccoli. Now I have a few more plants that like I said, I'm going to plant outside. I have those seeds set aside, and I'll show you that as well when I get that set up and going, how that works. Now, since I only have 9 of these, I can't plant a whole lot of each one of these right now, which the herbs, that's okay, because those will continue to grow and spread. But for these that I want to get like a plant start going, I mean, it's basically going to be 1, maybe 2 I get. So I am going to put 2 to 3 seeds per little pod because, you know, you want to make sure you get germination. Some of them may not germinate, so that gives you a better chance of getting something to germinate. Now, some of the things that come with a hydroponic garden like this, like I said, of course, is the dirt and the little containers to put them in. And then you also get these little domes, and you'll put those, they recommend you put them over your seeds when you're first planting them until the plants get tall enough to where they touch the top of the dome, then you can take them off. You do get plant food. This is what came with my particular set. They were like little beads of food you had to mix in water. If you get the Aerogarden will send you the liquid food, which I like better because it's more convenient. And then the great thing is it's really convenient on here. It's got this little piece that pulls off there. There's the open hole. So when you need to refill your water, you can just put, you know, put your water right down in here without having to disturb your plants and take this whole thing off. Now you do want to keep this somewhat cleaned, like if your plants have been in there a while, if your water's, you know, you can change this out. In other words, even with your plants, you can carefully lift this whole thing up with your plants, set it off in a tray, and then totally clean this out. I would use like water and vinegar, which I've done, kind of flush out that filter. If you feel like you're, you know, some of my plants that I've grown before were in there for a while, like my original herbs, you know, I kept cutting and they kept growing back. And then after a while, the water started getting really kind of, well, so I did change it out and the plants did just fine with that. They also will send you little stickers if you want to put those on there to label your plants. Like with Aerogarden, they sent this. I don't know what the purpose really of this is. I guess you can write on these if you put them on the top of these little plastic pieces here, I'm assuming, and write on them. I didn't really use any of this stuff. This is important. So these are little covers for these holes. So you see all the holes here where your plants go. Well, in my case, when I plant my next, I only have 9 plants to plant. So I'm going to have 3 open holes. And you don't want those open because, you know, you can get like disease and bacteria and stuff that you don't want in your water. So that's what these are for, little covers to put over those holes. That's the main things that came with this set. So what I'm going to do now is fill this up with water. And I'm going to get my seeds in here and get this turned on, and I'm going to show you what that all looks like. Okay, so I wanted to bring you in a little closer so you can see I've got my water in here. Typically you want to fill it up to where it touches kind of towards the bottom of your little dirt pod here, which this is definitely going to touch. I think I would have to fill it up higher if I had the dirt pods that actually went with this system because it, you know, it's only like that big. So we are just going to put the tray back on. Click that into place. And I'm just going to start setting my dirt down into my little containers. And before I put it in, I'm going to add 2 or 3 seeds. So to this one, I'm going to add 2 little broccoli seeds, and you just put them right down in the middle of the hole. And then that's pretty much it. I doubt you can see the seeds down in there, but you don't have to cover it over. Of course, you know, this is all kind of stuck together dirt. There's really nothing to cover over. So then once you have your seeds in there, you just put it in the hole. So I am going to start the next one. I'm going to put the rest of my seeds in the pots and add them into the tray, and then I'll bring you back. That one in there. That in. It's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I actually miscalculated. I thought I had 9 dirt pots, but 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. I only have 8. Darn. So not able to plant my thyme just yet, but I'll order more of these dirt pods, and then of course I'm going to have my setup outside. So now we are going to put our little domes over the top of the empty holes. Or I'm sorry, we're going to put our domes over the top of our seeds that we just planted, and I put 2 to 3 seeds in each one. And then we're going to cover these empty holes with those little white covers I showed you. Okay, and that is everything, and now these are ready to plug in. So I'm just going to plug these in, and then the power switch and everything is up here. Let me show you at the top of this. This is dusty and dirty because I've had this put away for a little bit, so I'm going to clean this off. This is the top, so you've got your power switch. It's got a little fan and water that kind of gets your pump going, and it blows a little fan. And then there's a setting for vegetables and a setting for flowers and fruits. So when I turn this on, I'm going to put it to vegetable. And then this is automatically going to run so many hours a day and then turn off so many hours a night. Now you can manually go in and turn this off, especially you know, at nighttime, because the light is super bright. Actually, let me plug this in so you can see how bright it is. Okay, so as you can see, this is a super bright when it's turned on, which can be annoying at nighttime if you're trying to sleep and you have it somewhere close by, you know, where light's coming in from the bedroom. So you can just turn this off manually if you want, like get on a schedule where you just turn it off at night and turn it back on in the morning. Or like I said, it will automatically go on and off. And then this will just kind of regulate itself. Pretty much you're just going to keep watching the water, making sure the water stays full to where your pods and your plants are getting enough water. And it is so simple. I have successfully grown, like I said, herbs, lettuces, and even cherry tomatoes in this. So I'm going to take you along too with this process and give you updates. Let you know how my plants are doing, seedlings are doing. Now some of my plants have done, most of my plants in here have done awesome. There's been a couple that haven't done as great. I think there was even one that I did that didn't even germinate. So you're always gonna have, you know, the odd one. But overall, this has done very well for me. So to wrap up this video, I thought I would bring you over here away from my bright light since I've got my hydroponic garden over there, and just kind of talk about why I like to use this and why I'm getting it going again now. So first of all, I love to garden. I have some other gardening videos on my channel. I can link those down below if you're interested. Grow a seed light grow box, which is very convenient and cheap for seed starting indoors, all kinds of stuff like that. So I can link that down below. But I'm in a much smaller space now than I used to be. So I've had to get more creative as far as things that I can grow here. And that's number one, the hydroponic garden, like that one in particular that I have, the size is perfect for small spaces. So if you're wanting to grow some of your own food, but you're limited on space, highly recommend. And I will link the one that I have down below, as well as the Aerogarden, if you want to check those out for yourself. And they have all different sizes too. Like I know there's a gigantic, and I don't know if it's an Aerogarden brand, it might be, but like there's a really big one that you could put off in a corner. I mean, it still doesn't take up a ton of space because it, you know, it's vertical, so it's like 5 feet tall or something, but there's different options for however much you wanted to grow in a limited space. I would get that one, but I'm planning on moving middle of summer this year. So, you know, I have to kind of be careful with what I'm growing and when it's going to, you know, come to harvest and all that stuff. I can't move with all that stuff in process. So I just love gardening anyways. I love putting back food, especially with everything going on right now. I just think it's really prudent to put some things back, have some extra, and be more self-sustainable. So this is one way that it helps me to be more self-sustainable. I can grow some things right here within my home relatively inexpensively, and that's the other thing. Prices are really going up on everything. So anywhere that I can save money, I paid, I think, $1.44 per pack, per seed pack at Walmart. So much more cost efficient to do it that way. Of course, you have your initial investment in your hydroponic garden, but the one that I have, it was not that expensive. At least when I bought it, it was not that expensive. So highly encourage you, you know, if you're interested in growing something and you don't even want to mess with growing outside, like I'm getting ready to set up my outside on my patio too, my raised beds out there. But if you don't even want to do that and you just strictly want to be able to do stuff indoors, a hydroponic garden is a great option. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and I'll be excited to bring you back here as soon as my seeds start to pop up. I'll bring you back and show you that, and even as my plants continue to mature, you know, I'll kind of keep you along on that journey so you can see how everything does. So if you like this video, I hope you will really give me a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.